Hey guys, I'm Roland Techusiast, and today I want to talk about Samsung, the Samsung Upgrade Program to be specific. I want to talk about what it is and how it works in the UK, and my experience having used it for the last 1.5 years, and whether it's reliable enough for your hard-earned cash. Before we get started, you must understand how the Samsung Upgrade Program actually works. The program lets you finance an expensive device such as the Galaxy S or Z series, and lets you spread the cost across 24 months, offering a more affordable and interest-free way to pay for a device, assuming you keep up with the payments. The Samsung Upgrade Program requires a 10% upfront payment based on the device's full price. After this, you'll have to pay the remaining 70% of the device in 23 equal monthly installments, and then a final 24th payment equivalent to 20% of the phone's price. This is a more affordable and comfortable way to pay for very expensive smartphones. The other perk that this program offers is a 4-month window to upgrade. This option is usually unlocked after 12 months when you'll be able to upgrade and sign up for a new contract. When this is initiated, the previously purchased device must be returned in good working condition and a new contract needs to be signed and paid. The device has to be in good working order, which means that general wear and tear is allowed, but it can't have any big cracks, big dents and water damage, as that would require repairing, which would obviously come out of your wallet. All of this seems pretty basic and great on paper, but things started to go downhill right after I began the return and upgraded from the Fold 3 to the Fold 4. You see, I bought into the idea of buying the latest foldable flagship from Samsung, and I successfully purchased the Fold 3 when it came out. The Samsung Upgrade Program allowed me to buy an otherwise very expensive device at a price that was easily affordable by me, and it seemed like a good deal. My Galaxy Z Fold 3 review is coming out soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. I've used the phone for an entire year and it was great. The phone had no issues whatsoever. The upgrade program also included 1 year of Samsung Care Plus for free of charge, which would have let me repair the device at reasonable prices if I ever broke the display or caused any damage. When the Samsung Fold 4 came out, I decided to take advantage of the upgrade program and reapply for a new contract. This was pretty straightforward and I made a 12th payment and I was instantly approved. I signed up for the new upgrade contract and waited a couple of days for Samsung to formally release the Fold 4 and send out the return package for my Fold 3. When I finished setting up and switching devices, all I had left to do was to return the Galaxy Fold 3. I did that within the 7-day return period and sat back to enjoy my new device. A few days later I received an email from Samsung telling me that the phone had a faulty display because the screen was delaminated. As you can imagine, I was extremely surprised and angry as I never had any issues with the screen itself. The only problem I faced in the last few days of having this phone was that the screen protector slowly started to peel up, which resulted in air bubbles. At the time I didn't think much of it since it didn't affect the display, and I knew that Samsung had a warranty replacing the screen protector free of charge. I thought this was a mistake, so I promptly decided to get in touch with Samsung to receive more information about the damage. The email stated that I had to pay £100 out of my pocket. This didn't feel right and justified since it looked like it was just the screen protector that needed replacing and not the entire display. I was able to explain my side of the story during a 38-minute call with a representative who reassured me that my claim and the photo evidence that I provided would be inspected within 48 hours. 1 day later, Samsung emailed me back saying that they couldn't solve the problem and that I had to get in touch with the recycling team as they were responsible for repairing devices. Now, I knew this was a blatant lie and that I would be running from pillar to post, going nowhere. I decided that I wanted to talk to someone else, so I contacted Samsung again via live chat. Once I told the representative my issue, I was told that I would be transferred over to another agent, but the chat was closed on me. Next, when I attempted to ring Samsung, the person wouldn't offer any help and hung up the phone on me. I must mention that I remained hopeful, polite, respectful all this time, and I simply wanted to resolve the issue peacefully. Yet Samsung always hung up on me and avoided answering any of my questions. Even when I tried to raise my issue on Twitter, the representative came back telling me that they couldn't see anything from my reference number and that my issue would be raised, and that they would contact me again. Yet they never did. So as you can imagine, I was pretty furious at this point, as I was given a choice to get in touch with a company that would likely pass me back to Samsung or pay for the damages that I haven't caused and believe were my fault. I decided to get in touch with the original support member, to whom I sent a serious complaint explaining my issue in even more detail, and going as far as mentioning that I would be exploring legal actions against them if they didn't settle the claim. The evidence was already there, all they had to do was look at it and honour it. 3 days later, I received an email from Samsung that my outstanding balance was finally settled and that I no longer had ownership of the device. My Samsung upgrade program was now complete. And that was one hell of a roller coaster, and sadly a real example of bad customer experience, even though I clearly described my side of the story, backed up by photo and video evidence. And just to be clear, if I genuinely had issues with the display itself, I would have accepted the charges and paid for the damages myself. Still, as you saw on the videos and pictures, the damage wasn't noticeable when using the device, and it looked like the screen protector gave up after 1 year. That's not unusual since adhesive can only last for so long under general use. Still, it's worrying and shocking that you could experience false accusations and be forced to pay to settle these problems. Problems that didn't actually exist and could have been avoided altogether just by properly looking at the evidence presented. So with all of that out of the way, should you use the Samsung upgrade program? The answer is, it's complicated. One negative experience might not be a deal breaker, but there are many reports from other users with similar or even worse customer service. And by the looks of it, they're prone to causing damages and other issues to return devices. Of course, your experience may vary. It's worth noting that things like this are not usual and it rarely happens. However, the fact that Samsung is only willing to make things right after threatening them with legal action, well, let's just say it's less than desirable. Personally, this entire fiasco made me want to reconsider using the program again, and I'm still undecided whether I trust Samsung enough to upgrade this year. Having learned my lesson, there's only one piece of advice I can give you. Always, and I mean always, make sure that you take lots of photos and videos of the stuff you buy. Always take video footage of you unboxing a device for the first time, or if you can, do it in store with the staff looking over your shoulder. Inspect the device thoroughly and check the most obvious details for faults, such as the frame for scratches, the display, the buttons, the ports, and so on. If everything seems fine, set up the device and go about your merry way. The same thing applies to items that you trade in or return. Always record the device's condition and ensure that the date and time are clearly visible and readable in the video and the photos. If you ever come across a similar issue as me, you'll be able to use this as evidence to back up your claim and that you sent the device back in the condition that you described it. Whether you decide to use the Samsung upgrade program or not, I strongly encourage you to follow these steps to avoid any issues in the future and to better protect your consumer rights. With all that said, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.